Welcome back to the 00101110 podcast, and I have a very special guest today, Crystal Imera from New York by way of Los Angeles this last time. Crystal, thank you for being on here.
Halo magilasunyalo, kung ano doon dingin na doon day.
Aiboan.
Ay, Boan.
So, Crystal, the last time we met, me, you, and Chris,
Yeah.
we went live on Instagram in Venice Beach, and you were speaking out against the industry. This is 3 years ago. You were way ahead of the curve talking about how you were an actress. You know, you kind of get blackballed, or they ask you to do things that are against your will, and they have parties, and it's a clique. And pretty much it seems like everything that you were talking about 3 years ago when people said, that's not true, and you're crazy, it's come true.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I feel amazing. It kind of feels like I hit a home run before the baseball game even started. It's pretty cool. I didn't want to be right, if I'm being honest with you. I feel like that's kind of wrong that I want an industry to kind of fall apart, because I love this industry. I love acting. I love my artistry. I feel like I had this talent for a reason. The universe gave me this for a reason. So for me, wanting it to fall apart, I feel messed up, but I think it's what needs to happen. Right now, what's going on is very important. I think to make the new earth, to make the new pathway for the new artist, and it might not be me, it might be people after me. I think it's important. I think it needs to all fall apart before it can be resolved.
Do you still have a love for acting, or like, I know you're always going to be an artist at heart. That's not going to go away. I don't care if you're driving tuk-tuks out of here. I don't care what you do.
Yeah.
Do you still have a love for acting, and do you feel like that's a part of what our mission will be at some point, as you've recreating films about awakening?
I love acting. I think I was born to do nothing else. I think that's what's in me. It's in my blood. That's all I wanted to do since I was a little girl. And I think, yes, the love has been kind of taken away because of everything that's going on, all the injustices in the industry. But that doesn't mean I don't love it. I do go on set sometimes and I'm like, oh, I hate it here. But that just has to do with the industry being what it is. But yes, I want to make a new industry. I want to make something new. I want to give new artists, new talent a chance. And I want, guidance from the universe to be able to do that. Build my own production house and kind of help new people, because nobody gets chances anymore. Everything is about who you know.
Yep.
Well, how much money you bring to the table. It's not about talent anymore. Nobody auditions anymore. You don't have to audition to get a big role. You just sleep around, or you show your connections, or you take out your wallet. If you can buy the role, it's yours. And I don't want to be a part of an industry like that. I want to be a part of an industry that actually honors talent. Like, you're able to do this role. You fit the description. You should get a chance.
I love that. That's beautiful. Switching gears a little bit.
Oh, God.
We're about done with the soft part of this interview.
I saw it a beat.
When you see what the Diddy trial, and not to give his name power, everybody plays a role here though.
Yeah.
When you see so many people staying silent whenever there were so many, what we perceive as, there's so many abuse victims over the years. What do you think now when you see all these people being silent and not, this could be a chance for them to write their story or write the ship? How does that make you feel?
I feel like there's a lot more guilty people than there is innocent people. And one wrong person speaking up can get that ball rolling. And I don't feel like you stay silent, like unknowingly. You stay silent purposely because you had something to hide, or somebody who has something to hide. You've been blackmailed. They have things on you. And because of these things, you stay silent. There's no other reason. There's no other reason why you would not stand up and speak up for children. But they are the most innocent victims. They need us to speak up. It's just like animal abuse. You should speak up for animals, right? So when somebody's not standing up for children or for women, and they're not using their voice or platforms, it says a lot about who they are. It doesn't matter if you're not physically doing these things. You are some way, somehow involved. So I feel like anybody involved in this whole situation is just as guilty. You don't have to be in the rooms doing the things. If they're not speaking up about it, you're just as guilty.
When you see things like the tweet the other day, sticking on the same topic with Jeffrey Epstein, the Epstein list, and Elon Musk. Like, Elon Musk in the middle of the night had Twitter fingers, and he said, or X fingers, and he said that that's why the big bombshell is that Donald Trump is on the Epstein list, and he's why they're eventually they're going to be released. Remember this tweet. What did you think of when you saw that? Did you think it was a show, or do you believe that Donald Trump was on that list? And not only on that list because they ran together in circles for years. That's not even. But do you feel like he was a part of that whole thing?
I think he was a part of it. I think this is all a game. It's all a show. We are all actors in a huge stage drama. And I think the more you give precedence to these things, I think the more it plays out in your reality if you create our reality, right? So, yes, I've seen the tweet and I've seen what's going on. Do I believe he was on the list? I do. Do I believe the list will ever come out? No. I think the Epstein's list is kind of like a gotcha. Like they're never gonna release that. Once they release that, it unravels the matrix and it takes people like the reality away. Like, yeah, oh my god, all these people are a part of this. I can't believe it. Oh my god. And then you start putting two and two together, and then you start understanding what's really happening. It's fucking crazy. So I feel like Elon doing that was scripted. It was all to just, it's manipulation, man. It's to keep you engulfed in this drama. Everything is to keep you from yourself. Everything is to keep focus off of you. If you don't have time to think about yourself and where you are in your life, you are just paying so much attention to everything that's going on TVs, on the news, on social media. When do you have time for yourself? When do you hit the gym? When do you fast? When do you do anything? You're just scrolling all day. Oh my god, did you see what this person is doing? It gives a fuck.
Right.
Focus on you, because it's you and you. That's it. Nothing that's going around you is changing. Where you can change your life, but you have to pay attention to your life.
That's it.
That's it.
Let me ask you this in this way. You're not supposed to choose sides on anything, but I want to ask you this question in this way. If you had to, by your best guesstimation, say who was more of the light, if it was Elon Musk or Donald Trump, who would you choose? But I want to give you my answer first.
Okay.
When I look at Elon Musk, he's somebody at 5 years old, he thought people were going to kill him because of the information and knowledge that he knew, that he was wide awake and aware that this reality wasn't real. He also is on the spectrum or autistic. And typically, if you've ever met people on the spectrum, high on the spectrum, they have no filter. They will insult you. They will hurt your feelings like nobody else, where you're like, oh,
Yeah.
and they just speak their mind without any repercussions, right?
Yeah.
The other thing was he was working in the White House. He was, basically with Doge and all these other things. And then he gets into a fight with one of the guys. Like he felt like he was being ousted and he was accosted, and he spent over $300 million to help Donald Trump get elected. And now he's pulling off all the cuts to his companies, the subsidiaries from SpaceX and Tesla, where trillions of dollars was transferred. So I'm saying this in this way. He's always talking about getting off this planet because wherever he's from the future, he sees a timeline where humanity's going to cease to exist, right? The Earth's going to stop when the sun burns out, okay? And then, you look at the things that he does. AI, I have no love for AI, but I realize it's here and it's always been a part of our construct. So I'm saying it in this way of that these two characters, these two Goliaths, if you want to say it that way, had to collide to wake more people up. But if I had to make a choice, I would say it would be Elon Musk, because I don't believe he would ever harm kids. I believe he loves kids, and that he got multiple baby mamas.
Yeah.
I could talk about that too. But so what is, if you had to choose, like, which way would you lean? How about that?
Just the fact that Donald has a womanizer background. He's chief womanizer, and he's also Epstein list possibility, right? Then I'm all about child trafficking. I fight for the kids. So right there, my choice is an easy choice. I choose Elon. There's no evidence of him harming children.
Right.
Donald Trump, not so much.
Yeah.
But I hate picking sides because I feel like it's all the same side of the coin, man.
Yeah.
Crazy. It's this is what they want. That's what they want us to revise. The vision is the key to keeping us controlled. So, but if I had to pick, I would pick Elon. It doesn't matter, make him for some reason. Something about him irks me.
That I hear a lot of people say that, and I'll say this.
I think he's an antichrist. Can I say that?
See, I think it's the other way around. But
You think Donald's the Antichrist?
but I see the Antichrist as somebody you want to have a beer with. I don't see the Antichrist as somebody with a pitchfork and horns. It's just somebody that's being guided by something higher, that's dark, but they also are necessary to awaken us.
So do you believe in Satan?
I believe in it. I believe that Satan, yes, in the sense of Satan is a program, just like God and Jesus is a.
So what, like a low vibrant of low frequency event?
And Satan really rules this realm. If you look at materialism, if we
So
look
you
at,
think Earth is hell?
I won't go that far because the earth that I've created is heaven, and you create your own reality. And these things that they want us to believe in so bad that they keep hijacking the news cycle. This is why I say with the news and with that tweet dropping, it set off a chain of events because this to me because the Democrats were calling, we want the list. And so now you have ICE raiding all these places. You don't think that's a distraction? They could have done that a long time ago.
Everything.
If you want to talk about. So you have ICE, you have Israel, what's happening with Israel and Iran, which we're going to talk about now. All of these things were just from that one tweet. That's what's in my heart. That's what I believe.
It's saying that's ball rolling.
We don't even talk about it again. They wash the time.
Yeah. And they're best friends probably again. They were like, oh, good job.
Probably because it's in a way it kind of washes their karma. So I'll ask you this in this way. When you see what's happening with Israel and Iran, tell me, and Gaza, we have a full-blown genocide being committed. And I'm going to ask it in this way. If your parents were in the Ku Klux Klan, and more than likely you'd be in the Ku Klux Klan. That's what our odds are in our society because we're taught to do. That's my parents. I have to respect them.
I follow in their footsteps, yeah.
When you see somebody like Israel, it's not even a controversy to me anymore. Who's the bully on the block and what they're doing?
Period.
I blame the United States, not them, though.
Always dipping their foot in something.
The United States is the puppet master and Israel is carrying out the work.
Do you really think so?
100%.
I think it's the other way around.
Enlighten us. Let's go.
I think Israel owns everything and everyone. And I think the United States, Israel has some blackmail on the United States. There's something going on. So the United States owes them something, just like all these other countries. Israel is the Epstein.
Yeah.
Israel has things on everybody, on every country. And they are using it to manipulate the masses. And they want people to believe that they are God's chosen ones for a reason, because they are doing the complete opposite of what God is about. And I'm probably going to get canceled to this. But I genuinely believe that Israel was set in place and set in motion to, in the end game, be the ones to like try to take everybody out. They are the last boss in the game. And I think people, they're lifting their veil and they're starting to see how bad they are. And I genuinely believe that they are the villain. I'm so sorry. I apologize if I hurt anybody's feelings, but I have to say, and I have been holding my tongue on it on my page for a very long time. But I just think that we are letting them get away with so much. And they are putting their claws in Sri Lanka as well.
Right now?
Right now. They are everywhere. And the Lankan police department is protecting them, which means they have something on the Lankans. You know, they have illegal businesses set up and down the island. Like, we can't even be here past 2 months with an expired visa without us getting shipped out. You know, we have to pay fines and we get in trouble. But these people have businesses for years without proper documentation, without proper anything, and they're allowed to be here. Same with India. You know, India has this undying love for Israelis and Jews, and it just starts to like make you it makes you think, what is going on? What do they have on these people? What do you feel like you owe them? Right? They've been around forever. Yeah. I genuinely believe reptilians run amongst them because they've been around forever and they've been running things so long that people are afraid of them. And I think that delusion of they are the God's chosen people has been like it's like a cancer, and people are starting to believe it. You know, and if you don't see what they're doing in these countries, in Gaza, in Iran now, if you don't think what they're doing is wrong, like genocide, killing all these innocent children, even if it's not real and if it's not really happening and if it's just a facade, we're creating this reality, you have to somehow see that they are the the bad guys in this. And then the United States is not helping. They always have their nose in something that doesn't belong. Like, mind your business. People in America can barely, afford food. Like, they can't pay their rent, they can't afford their bills, they can't afford nothing, and you're over here sending all our tax money to wars. Why?
Yeah.
As you can see, this subject gets me going.
This is something I've wanted. I'm glad. I agree with what you say, but with a caveat. I'll say it in this way. So the Jews that we know today are not the original Jews. They stole their whole lineage from the original, who were black Hebrews. And the powers that be know this. This is why you can't get an ancestry DNA test done as being in Israel.
Okay.
They can't do 23andMe there. You have to have special permission to get that done. There's a reason they don't want people to know that they're not the actual originals.
So you're saying
Against the law.
so the people that are Jewish now, they are not the real.
No. Let me give you this example. If you grew up with two black parents,
Okay.
and you were white, right?
Okay.
And I'm sorry. Let me say it in this way. If you grew up white and you were told your whole life you were black,
Okay.
but you were white, what we've acknowledged as a society is white, do you blame the child on, growing up thinking this is what's happened. They basically went in and stole their entire history, just like the Vikings. What the Vikings would do, they would go conquer somebody, but they stopped conquering with violence. They wanted your spiritual gifts. They wanted to learn all your knowledge. The middle of the night, they'd murder everyone and take your crown. And this is what happened with the Ashkenazis and all these different societies. But because God is everything, God is love, God is light, God is dark, God is everything. They are God's chosen people because they are waking us up. Because even though we perceive them as the villain, they are. If we had a bunch of Jesuses walking around this earth, there would still be evil that persists. You almost need that level of.
I get it.
Do you see what I'm saying? That's my perspective.
I get it. Like, I feel like you made a light go off in my head because it does make sense. Because if they weren't doing what they're doing, maybe so many people wouldn't be awakening to what is going on.
Right.
I get it.
The walls are closing in on them. And it's not, I don't want anything bad to happen to anyone, but enough is enough.
Yeah. Like, with what I'm saying, I don't say I hate all Jews. That's not what I'm saying at all. Cool. There's amazing people everywhere. There's good people all over the world. But this whole situation, it's kind of parasitic. Like, it feels like it's attacking all of us some way, somehow. And if you don't feel like it, maybe, your blinders are a little too dark.
And this is the problem that I have with Israelis or Jewish people who don't speak out against their parents. This is why I use KKK example. Yeah. If my parents were the head of the KKK or were in the KKK, and I knew that they were committing crimes or they were in the mafia and they were killing people, and I didn't speak out, but it's like, oh, that's my mom, that's my dad. Yeah. This is what I see happening in Israel. The Jewish people, most Jewish people are love. That you can choose to be any religion. Just to say you're Jewish-ish, it doesn't mean anything negative or a negative connotation.
It's some. So you think people could take Muslim religion and be like, oh, that's the evil religion. They want to do and murder and think, yeah, okay, fine. But there's so many loving Muslims, right? So it's messed up to put everybody in that same category. And I get it. But that whole God's chosen one, really, I didn't think about it that way.
They chose the dark. If we chose our path to be the light and to overcome things, we need
somebody to tell us, hey, look at what's going on.
And
did you think about it that way? That's pretty cool.
They're God's chosen in a different way. So
to wake us up.
With this war, do you believe, number one, that the people who start the wars are never they don't even hate each other. They're part of the club and doing this. What do you think their bigger purpose is in this, the genocide and the war? Like, what is the highest timeline for them? Besides distraction, we know they're distracted.
Yeah, distraction. I feel like it's all to get other countries' resources. The more resources you steal some countries, such as Iran, and if you really think about it, all the countries that we've invaded have so many resources.
Yes.
They always invade these countries for some odd reason, whether it be something to do with the Anunnaki or the oil or the gems and the stones. There's always a reason. I feel like there's always something that they're not telling us.
the Stargates. If there's something there with
I heard they're all missing.
Saddam Hussein, Muammar Gaddafi, like all of these people were trying to fight up against this United States bully, and then somehow, some way, the Matrix took them out.
Yeah.
The airline that just happened.
Oh, God.
Okay, so
Such a distraction.
but
God forgive me, but
do you believe that this could have been a message to us? You know, so this airliner, it's 242 passengers.
Yeah.
It's out of nowhere. Like, traveling on airlines is the safest place of train. So the safest way to travel.
we're trying to scare people from traveling.
That's what I believe too.
Feel
Because
way free of the Matrix.
but for those who have eyes to see, it was seat 11A was the only survivor. 1 million. They interview him in his hospital bed, and he's in bed number 11. 27 years ago, a Vietnamese singer survived a plane crash with, I think, almost 200 people, and his seat number was 11A. So you see these repeated anomalies where I believe that's a message to the chosen ones and the higher versions of us that we're saying, hey,
Pay attention.
it's very close to being go time. What do you think that ultimately that meant, besides because you were saying something about the building didn't collapse? Like,
Oh yeah, I feel like it's a 9/11 situation. Like I feel like when you look at I don't really watch the news and stuff, but I saw enough on social media to see that this plane landed into like a brick Indian building, like a house.
Right.
And the house didn't collapse. Like, it just, like, this is a huge jet, by the way, Jonah. Like, it's just sitting on top of the house, like, chilling.
right.
And then you have these planes that ran into a steel enforced building, like our Twin Towers. And our Twin Towers just, come on.
Yeah.
Make it make sense. And I feel like that's, if we're not really paying attention to these signs, it kind of makes you wonder, like, what was that? 9/11?
When you see it happen, does it make you scared to travel?
No. And why?
That's right.
That fear is BS.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to travel. Travel.
Yes.
Travel. Because that's the only way to exit the Matrix. You have to leave what you're comfortable. Like, you have to.
Yes. Had to. It's like Truman, how on the movie The Truman Show, how they kept scaring him, saying the statistics of an airplane. Oh, you don't want to go on a boat. It kept scaring him to stay in his town. This is what's happening with people. And ultimately, why, if you're still in the fear frequency that someone's going to harm you, then you're manifested that time.
Yeah.
Right. Self.
That is inevitable.
It is, but death is only the beginning. And you know that your soul weighs like 1.5 pounds. They did a study. When you die, they immediately weigh the person before and after, and your soul leaving your body has a weight. That tells you everything. What
You say you take only what you need.
That's right.
And that's it. Don't be afraid of that.
That
And doesn't matter where you go, right? That doesn't follow you. I was having this conversation with my mom today, actually. She was like, oh, the war is starting. Maybe I should, like, sell everything and come to Sri Lanka. I'm like, if you're going to die, you're going to die in Sri Lanka. Right. You're going to die. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen.
That's right.
Death is going to knock on your door regardless where you are. You could be, this is why I say it's so funny how they're making tunnels and underground bunkers. Like, you guys really think you can hide from death? Like, come on.
Final destination. Death has a pattern.
Yeah. And if you miss your calling for death, they'll find you. It'll come. The Grim Reapers come knocking all.
I want to ask you about your spiritual journey. How have you, so in 3 years, like I say, you were shouting from the rooftops. You were a courageous fireball, unafraid to speak your truth without consequences. For that, I want to give you props, because you could have missed out on opportunities. You probably did miss out on opportunities, let's be honest. But, I told you this, you probably don't remember this, but I told you this a long time ago. I said, number one, you were protected from energies that you weren't supposed to work with, and those opportunities were not for you, and that your purpose was bigger.
I definitely believe that now.
Yeah.
When you said that to me then, I was like,
It doesn't help when you turn down 2.6 million or whatever from Netflix at the time, but ultimately that the end game for you was going to be so much better and greater. And when I see how you've evolved, and again, when I met y'all, y'all took me to eat at a vegan restaurant. We talked about the Matrix and star seeds, and you were like, I guess, we were, when the thing about it is, when you recognize energy, we might not all see what they see at the time or like agree, but eventually the universe is going to give you the answers that you need to see. But we still resonate with that person vibrationally.
I genuinely do think you opened a lot of doors for Chris and I.
I appreciate that.
You really did. I think a lot of light switches started going on after the live, after just having you in our life. And we were just starting to put that's why we're forever grateful for you.
I'm trying to thank you, man. Don't come in here thank you.
I got a whole different perspective. All right.
You changed our life for real.
I'll take that compliment. I appreciate that. That's a two-way street because y'all were supportive of me whenever I was getting the absolute piss kicked out of me. And just being that calming voice and checking in every now and then. People don't know the power of just saying, "Hey man, what's up, man? You good?" And that it's not about always about like we're all at times struggling with financially. Just check it in, saying what's up. You know what I mean? Like that means are you okay? I'm forever grateful for that. And but your spiritual journey, how do you with Buddhism, Hinduism, Christianity, Islam, Sri Lanka has it all. How have you evolved with your spirit and what are your spiritual practices?
I believe in everything and anything. I think that there's a right and a wrong to everything that we're taught. But I do believe religion is a construct and a box that they put us in to keep us divided. This is something I say to all my viewers. I do believe it's okay to pray. It's okay to go and worship because they all teach us the same message, which is love. And if you get anything else other than love from your religions, you're not practicing it properly. And the whole point of religion is for us to connect, for us to learn from one another and evolve into the next chapter. I personally don't believe in religion. I don't have a religion. I don't mind going to the temple. I don't mind going to the Colville. I don't mind going to a mosque. I don't mind hanging out with Hindus or Muslims. I'm cool with it all. But for me, my religion is love. And I'm vegetarian. I don't eat animals for the same reason. I don't want a graveyard in my stomach. I push that a lot. And I genuinely do believe this. My spiritual journey has been meditation. I love breath work and just being with myself. I like to. Fasting is a big thing now. Fasting has changed our lives, that's for sure. Working out, health, is something I push to all my viewers. Health doesn't matter what you do. Doesn't matter who you pray to. If you're not taking care of your physical vessel, there's no point. Right. Everybody wants to. Oh, I want to make so much money. I want to be so famous. I want to do all these things. Yeah, but you're physically unhealthy.
Right.
So what's the point?
That's it. You gotta honor your temple and your avatars. You mentioned something the other day about teeth and things like that. Can you touch on that really quick about dentists?
Yeah, so there is a documentary on YouTube called The Root Cause. I would suggest you put the link down for everybody to go watch it. So the reason why I started touching on it was I had a root canal done and that root canal got infected. After that root canal got infected, I wanted to go to a dentist and had them take the root canal out. And they tried everything and anything not to take my tooth out or my root canal out. They wanted to do a double root canal and do all these things. And I'm like, fuck, I don't want to do another root canal. And then it was like the universe was like, here, watch this documentary. And everything I was feeling was right there in this documentary, saying how root canals actually cause so much problems. Because all your teeth, I was actually speaking to her about that too, and all your teeth are connected to different body parts, right? Every tooth has something to do with your vessels, your meridian. The meridian line that runs in your body is connected to your teeth. Your mouth health is very important. As dentists, what do? They offer you root canals, they offer you fluoride, all the things that completely shut out your third eye. And dentists, just like regular doctors, it's all about money. If you take 100 doctors, one will actually give you proper advice. The rest are just trying to fill their pockets. So this is something I also talk about in my videos. I'm just like, be careful who you trust, right? If you had a root canal, you need to watch The Root Cause. Right. The Root Cause on YouTube. The full documentary's on there. Not promoted or sponsored by that, right. But you need to watch it.
Okay.
It's incredible.
Yeah. I'm on it. I'm on it. Now, earlier when we were talking about the movie industry, you said you still have this passion for it. When you look at Sri Lanka's movie industry, how does that differ from like Hollywood's or even Bollywood's? Like, is it clicked up here? What's going on in here?
I think it's a lot more similarities than there is differences. Bollywood is a nepotism all the way. Hollywood is you gotta sleep with children and have that type of lights, like satanic shit. Here, it's more of a very small circle of families that had the say in who's getting opportunities. So a lot of the people here is like, let's say you and I, we're in movies, we want to cast our friend. They're the only ones who are getting an opportunity. The rest of the people, there's no auditions here. They don't run auditions. It's very rare. I have yet to go to a proper audition. There's no real outlet for talent yet. And you're talking about Sri Lanka. People sing on a Tuesday at home. Yeah. Okay? This is Starseed Island. Yeah. You should give people opportunity here. Come on. And there's no opportunity. There's no highway towards what people want. I get so many messages from young girls and guys like, I, I'll have no way to get into these things. There's no, at least in LA, let's be real, there's a backstage. There's CCA castings. There's all these different outlets that you can go in, put your profile, and you can maybe get an audition. You can be in these rooms with people who can actually change your life. Here, it's like, wow, you don't know this person, you're not getting a chance. Same with India now. India is really bad. India is full of nepotism, and India is full of bullies. That's why it's called hashtag Bullywood, because all they do is bully you. You know, I've had many opportunities taken away from me because the star kid wanted it. This is what's happening in the industry, and it's not all that. It's you gotta sleep around.
So the sleeping around part, I feel like that's probably every industry, not just the movie industry, right? It's
Easy to get far.
yeah, you can get really far. Um, in terms of Sri Lanka, I know that obviously you guys have been here for a year, and there's more good than that.
Oh yeah.
The goods here. How do you highlight this island when you tell people visit? It typically goes the food and the people, right? But what do you tell people about Sri Lanka and your experience here? Because obviously you still feel called to be here. I know you do modeling and other things in the art.
Yeah, we do that.
So what do you love about Sri Lanka?
The people.
Yeah.
The people. I could care less about the food, the places, and people. There's just something about the Lankan people that is just so endearing. They will see you on the street and be like, "Hi, come into my house. Have some food." Like, you don't know me. And I just think it's so beautiful. And I think they haven't been tainted.
You called it Starseed Island earlier.
Yeah.
And we've talked a few times, and now you're more on the side of, okay, there are specific people probably on the earth that vibrate differently.
Yeah.
How do you define a starseed now? What do you think of as a starseed?
I think when you have this, there's a light about you. There's something that sparkles every time you speak about this one subject. It doesn't matter what it is, right? And you have this purpose. There's a purpose that it's just gotta get this done. I feel like that's a starseed. I feel like they have this purpose and they want to fulfill it, and it doesn't matter what it takes them to get there. Like for me, I could get killed tomorrow, but if I'm speaking my purpose, I'm okay with it. I think that's it. That's what makes it starseed. And I used to think it was only a small amount of people that are starseed, but I do genuinely believe that maybe we are all somehow, some way, some sort of starseed. I think we all have it. I just think our light has been dimmed with the shit that we read.
It's definitely, when we talked about religion earlier and putting yourself in a box, I don't really call myself a starseed like that anymore. Like in the beginning, I was speaking my truth. And I woke up and all these downloads came and people communicated telepathy. But calling yourself a starseed is like a label. Just like Christian or a Muslim. We're everything and everyone. The goal here on this earth is to reach God mode. The Buddha reached nirvana, right? He reached this level of consciousness where nothing is real. I don't need a phone. I don't even need clothes. I'm maybe not that far, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
he basically was free. And then what was communicated to me is that when he had reached enlightenment, he laughed, right? Because he could see all these other people were Buddhas undercover, but they couldn't see who and recognize who they were, but he saw who they were.
Yeah.
And so I think that's but this being Starseed Island, I did a little research and I feel like, again, this place was in the Bible. This is where Jonah and the whale, that he was supposed to be heading to before he preached to the Ninevites. And so how do you feel here energetically differently than you
Same.
do? The same?
Insane.
Oh, insane.
Insane.
Yeah.
I in the United States, I literally felt like my soul was freaking going down to the ground. I couldn't. There was something about the United States that I was losing my hair. I was gaining weight. I was just not happy, even though I was doing so many things that was like my love. I was acting so much, I was doing so much work. Chris and I were so busy. But at the same time, I was just feeling so drained all the time. I didn't feel happy here. The minute we land, I dropped 10 pounds. My skin is glowing. I love it here. And I'm just so happy. I'm always smiling. I could be home doing nothing with my dog, Sudhi. And I'll be just happy. I'm just happy. There's something about Sri Lanka that, and you know what? It's crazy because I was reading the other day that everybody is getting calls to their motherlands, right? And I was born in the United States. Like, why am I in Sri Lanka? Like, my whole family is in America.
Right.
I was like, okay, bye. And I'm coming to Sri Lanka. Even my aunt was saying this the other day to me, like, it's crazy how you left what most people would never leave and you went to this small little island and you're living there happily. And I'm like, because we were, come on, Chris is from America.
Yeah.
His mom is Guatemalan. His dad is Dominican. He was born and raised in New York. Like, what are you doing living in Sri Lanka? Like, I know to this day his mom is probably like, ¿Qué pasa? Like, why are you in Sri Lanka? And now they want to come here.
It's crazy. People will see this glow about you. You could scream till you're blue in the face on the other side of the world, and then people think, oh, you're just on a vacation. No, I'm still on mission. The mission has always been at the forefront, but I'm living my life and affecting frequency like you guys are in a different way. You're getting to showcase and unlocking parts of yourself that were dormant, and this place just makes sense. This is the only country that I've been to twice in the last 3 nights.
Crazy. When you went last time and we were still in LA, right? And you're like, guess where I'm going? I'm like, where? And he's like, Sri Lanka. I'm like, bruh, no way.
You were the reason I ever even heard. I never. I know I've heard it before on the Kanye Nicki Minaj song or whatever, back in the day.
Yeah.
Pull up in the night. But
Same, because of her.
right.
I never knew that the map.
We didn't learn about Sri Lanka in school, and I know that now it was for a purpose.
Yeah.
And I know that now, if you had learned all the answers in life and didn't go through the program, it would have made it not so fun. Are you having fun now? That's because this question is we all have our good and bad days. Let's be honest. But I don't even have bad days anymore. I think I have bad minutes or bad. It used to be bad hours or whatever. It just something lasts. I don't really get angry anymore. I just kind of get over things. Is that how you feel?
Well, I don't know if you remember, but 3 years ago when we were on Venice, I was a very angry little girl. I wanted to fight people. I was ready, man. I was on that lies. Everybody who was saying I was lying, I was like, you think I'm lying?
Yeah.
And now I'm just like,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm such a different place in my life. I'm so grateful, and I'm just so. It sounds so fake, but I'm so happy.
Yeah.
And I'm to that point where it's like, if you take me tomorrow, I'm okay.
I love that. I absolutely love that. And I, we talked. I want to touch on this really quick, just because we talked about, in the beginning of my journey. Whenever it's a weird thing when you're on social media, like when you haven't lived that part of your life.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, I get trolls, and I was like, yeah, I got a troll. This is funny. This is cool. And then, but then they say something super personal. I'm like, man, you don't know where I came from, boy. Like, and so you get in, you go in on everybody. Like, nah, dog. Like, hey, pull up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm spiritual, but I'm off shit.
Yeah, I
you
feel
take under that potty.
just that stuff all the time.
So to get to that place, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like, I'm not engaging. I know if you want to friendship,
yeah.
but we do, and this is what I was getting to. I want to ask you because I post stuff and then I take it down like hours later because I'm like, I needed to get that off my chest. Just like the Elon Musk Donald Trump thing.
Yeah.
Do you do that where you're like, you still dip your toe until like that warrior comes out?
Yeah. I'd be writing paragraph long comments to people, to the MP.
You write it, but don't post it.
He sees me. He's like, oh, you're writing a comment, guy. And then I'm like, I hit send, and I'm like, delete.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do that with my like text messages too. If I'm like having an argument like with my mom, I'll go in my notes and I'll just write a whole paragraph, and then I'm like, he's just stupid. Delete. I don't fight. We remember 3 years ago.
Yeah.
You had it really weird, yeah.
So speaking of parents, how does it differ now? Like, we're evolving consciously, and we're never going to necessarily get them to see what we see in that way. What's it like now with the relationship with your mom, or like just things that you're going through, or how people are going through with their parents? Because a lot of parents, even like in Sri Lanka, we discussed that it's like they own you. Like, you're my child. I get to say, you have to obey me. How do you view that now?
So my relationship with my mom has gotten so much better. I think 3 years ago I was really lost, and Chris has seen the evolution. Anything she said, drop of a hat made me cry, made me emotional. Everything hurt me, and I think it had a lot to do with me more than it did her. She was doing the best she could, and I had to realize I had to heal. I had to figure out what was wrong, why it triggered me, and now I'm in a really good spot. I know, okay, if you're gonna trigger me, I'm not gonna talk to you for a few days.
Right.
If you're gonna be supportive and love it, and now she gets it, and she's finally like laying off. So we're in a good place. I'm super grateful, and I truly do love her. I think she's a mirror of me. I think that's why we fought so much.
Yeah.
She was me.
Yeah.
I was fighting my own dark spots. Like everything. Like Chris says this beautiful thing. Like, you have to understand, one, she's alone, and two, you're the only thing she has.
Yeah.
And because you're the only thing she has, she's gonna overflow your bucket as much as she can, because she thinks she's trying to help you. I never understood it that way, and then I look at her and I'm like, damn, that's exactly what she's doing, and she's doing the best she can.
Yeah.
So that's where we are. We're in a good place, and I get her. I understand her now. As for parents in Sri Lanka, man, I feel like there's so much being put on children here. Like, and I don't think it's just here. I think it's all around the world. Like, I'm having a child so he or she could succeed, so then I have a good future.
Right.
If you're having children for that reason, you're having children for the wrong reason. You shouldn't be having children to make sure your future is set. You should have fixed your future prior to having children. This is something I will forever stand by. Do not bring children into this world expecting them to take care of you. You need to be able to take care of yourself. It's an unfair life. It's an injustice to that child, to that soul, to expect them to take care of you, right? Bring a child into this world when you're able to provide, when you're able to give them something. That's the difference between the 1% and the other 99, right? You need to be able to give your child something so that they can succeed. If not, they are going to be struggling and on the same boat as you. It's simple. You want your child to struggle, have a child when you're not ready. They will struggle. And hey, everybody comes down here with a contract, so maybe that is what meant to happen. You're meant to struggle, you're gonna struggle.
Right.
But as a person who's maybe awakened, who's trying to awaken, try not to have a child till you're ready. Don't put this what is it called? Like, don't put all this stress on them. There's enough stress in the world. Don't be a parent who stresses them out. Oh, you're too fat, you're too dark, you're too skinny, you're this, you're that. Go to this school, get this degree. School is bullshit. It's indoctrination camps.
Yeah.
Nobody needs to do good in school anymore, okay? You could just go on the internet, learn everything, and you can become the next Jonah. You can become the next Crystal. You can do these things because everything is readily available now. You don't need to go to school and spend all this time unless you're trying to be like a surgeon. Then, don't learn that online.
Right. Yeah. But you hit the nail on the head, and there is no ownerships. Like, we played roles when we came to Earth. Like, I chose to be male, you chose to be female. We chose these things before we came. Your parents don't own you. These are soul contracts, because you can't come here born with all the intuition and the gifts. You have to go through it, and so that's part of like we live in The Sims, right? The video game. Remember The Sims? You create a character.
That green diamond thing.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So it's when you see it for what it is, it makes you appreciate it more. And
How do you feel with because I know you were having.
I talked to my mom the other day, and I'm glad you asked that. And even my kids, that was a very tough one for me. I just shared some personal things on social media. In the beginning of my journey, the reason, because I lived my whole life online, and even from the very beginning, and then my kids were getting trolled, and my kids were creating fake accounts to troll like my son and stuff like that when he was at school. So I said, okay, I can't share this anymore. And then, but my mom, and that was a tough one for me, my mom, we talked the other day, and we're in a very good place. Like, she was excited to hear from me. It's not that we talk every day. Of course, it's hard to repair relationships. Get off me.
That's your
That's Sri Lanka.
no.
That's my mom. And it called her.
That's my ball.
Oh.
No, that's the universe saying this conversation exactly what it needs to be.
Yeah, it's this is I want to look at the camera for this one. So anybody who's struggling with their parents and that you had a very hard falling out with your mom or your dad, or you don't talk to your brother or sister, the time is coming where we're going to communicate with everyone, because it was a very hard timeline. That's all you know growing up, and these are the only people you confide in. And I know you had beautiful memories with them. I had some beautiful memories with my family, but I also knew that I had a bigger mission for humanity. So it's okay to love somebody from afar when they're not aligned. It's not that you need to block anybody or cut anybody off, because we've done that too.
Yeah, I learned that.
I did too, but it's like, open up that channel, because they're evolving too. As we evolve, they evolve. It's just a slower process.
We're all learning together.
We are. And so, I was.
So I also think like parents are the perfect way to open up your throat chakra.
Oh, yeah.
My throat chakra has opened up so much thanks to my mom and thanks to Chris, because Chris keeps me in line, because I happy one to curse people out. He's like,
Yeah. He's the ground. He's
the
ground.
grounders. Yeah.
For sure. But you need that. That's the beautiful, that's necessarily yin and yang, because Chris is a warrior too.
Yeah.
He speaks on the things you do too.
Yeah.
But you need somewhat that calming presence too. So y'all make the perfect balance. Yeah. You have to have it. So, and again, man, I just want to say, I'm so proud of you guys for just sticking to the journey. You came here with a plan. We sat and ate in Calabasas with Chabil. That was really the last time I saw y'all before the interview. And, we're here now, and
I can't believe we're in Sri Lanka together. That's just
I know. And
We talked about it in LA. Like, oh, you're gonna go there? We're gonna meet you one day. That's crazy.
yeah, and here we are, and I'm so proud of you. The evolution of consciousness, you get it at the highest levels. You still have that ferocious warrior. It's the self-awareness and recognizing and growing your audience, and the Sinhalese people have never had a microphone for them, or somebody from, I would say, Western culture. Nobody takes up for these people. And you recognize what's here in the land. And I feel like, when your legacy and your story is written, it's going to be so much bigger than the movie industry. But all these things are stepping stones to get to connect to people and to get to sharing things. And I want to say thank you so much for everything that both of y'all do, because it's real. Like, y'all are real. Like, you could say a lot of stuff about all of us, but y'all are real ass people, and it's just so few and far between we meet on this journey.
Right back at you.
It's hard, man. It's hard out here. It's hard to meet people. You don't, even on this side of the world, even I don't even necessarily always jive with the Americans that I meet on this side of the world. Just because you're a little more conscious. We're all on our path and all on our journeys. We're all learning, and you guys have stayed the course. And I'm so honored that you chose to come here today. And I know this won't be the last time.
No.
And I know that again, someday we're gonna do something so big. I already know we're gonna be flying private somewhere, or something will don't happen. So
it's easily. I really want to say thank you for picking the Sri Lankan people, and I know you call Sri Lanka a home. Yes, and I want to say thank you. People like you are the reason why tourism is going up. People like you help this country so much, because there's so many Lankans that want to leave Lanka. They want to go to other countries, and then you have people like us who leave everything and come here. Yes, which makes the young adults be like, maybe something is special here. Because Sri Lanka is special, and I think we've forgotten how special Sri Lanka is, because we've been so tainted by outside world and how much they push this. And I want to say thank you for reminding the youth again, and the adults here, that Sri Lanka is fucking amazing.
it is amazing, and that's a really one last little quick thing I'll ask you.
Yeah.
This is what I believe. I believe, because it is like the Truman Show, that you're meant to get out of your comfort zone. That you're not meant where you grew up. Like, you went from New York, you had LA to Texas, and so you ended up here. What would happen if you took everybody from the United States, uprooted them, and then flopped the board on other parts of the world, and you just did a swap? What do you think would happen?
I think. Oh my God. I'm picturing Charles in Sri Lanka, right?
Everybody will die.
Everybody-
They won't know how to survive.
Like, I genuinely don't think, I don't think anything good would happen from that.
Really?
I don't. I really think Sri Lankans going to America would ruin them.
Yeah.
And I think Americans coming to Sri Lanka would ruin Sri Lanka.
That's big facts.
That they still there's something that colonized anyway.
I just think I really think people need to understand how incredible Sri Lanka is. And I'm not downplaying other countries.
Right.
Right? We should all love our countries. I love America. But I sit here and shit top America because there's just so much stuff going on in America that nobody's willing to talk about. And it's just a small smidgen of us that are willing to say, hey, listen, things are bad. And in Sri Lanka, it's not all good. There's bad things happening here too. But I think a lot of Lankans have to remember how magical this place is. And I think that's what's missing. And I think people like us coming here and talking about this and making videos, making content, letting people know how beautiful Sri Lanka is. I think tourism itself.
Right.
Come on.
It's been up. That's
The only thing I have to say about the tourism being up is where is this money going? That's the only question I have about that. You know, where is this money going? It's not to the people of Lanka. It's not to the small businesses. It's not to the local farms. It's not to the agriculture system. So where is this money going? Doesn't matter how much money the companies make, how much money tourism makes, if the money is not going to the people who deserve it. So that's the only question I have. Anuradha, where's the money going?
So on this note, do you have a message that you want to share with the world? Because I want you to look at that camera right there. And if you have something that's on your heart or on your mind or about the awakening, about the matrix or simulation, is there one message that you want to share to the world that comes straight from your heart?
I think you're your own enemy. We're our biggest enemy. We are our villain. We are our hero. You can only save yourself. Nobody's coming to save you. Don't expect others to come and help guide you in this journey. You have this vision, this dream in your mind for a reason. Don't let it go just because of manipulations and what other people think, or if you feel like you're crazy. Like, if you want to travel, you want to go live this dream, do it. Because I'm not going to say you only live once, because we live multiple times, but there's a reason why this purpose is put in your head. It's implanted in there for a reason. You need to fulfill it, or you will continue to want to come back. So if you don't want to come back, make sure you fulfill it. And I think you are your worst enemy. You make things harder than they need to be. You give yourself the challenges. You make yourself weak. You continuously listen to other people and let that change who you are. Stop it. Go to the gym. Start eating healthy. Stop trusting doctors. Don't think that the government has your best interest. The people around you can be your biggest enemy. They can be toxic. So remember to meditate, drink enough water, eat a lot of fruits, and fast. Fasting is key to a healthy life, healthy body, everything. Everything needs fasting. So if you are addicted to food, you are easily controlled and manipulated. So make sure you get off of that addiction, because drugs is a bad addiction, but food is a worse addiction. See you in my next one. With Jonah!
Hey. Thank you so much for that message. I appreciate you. And thank you all for tuning in to the 0010110 podcast. We'll be back next week with more guests. Thank you. Hey, you see how many leaves were just